Good evening and welcome to the Is It Just Me podcast. I am your host, Dr. Angie Inch. This podcast will entail truthful, transparent conversation about living life and the lessons learned. This podcast is for everyone from teenagers to the elderly, and although some topics discussed may be rated R, every conversation is based on living life and learning life lessons. Tonight's discussion is going to be on vacationing with friends. What are your vacation expectations when you travel with your friends? Are you a spur of the moment type of person or are you a planner? Do you set themes when you and your friends travel? How do you spend your time when you're on vacation with your friends? But before I begin, I would like to state this disclaimer. I am not an expert, and everything that is being discussed is the independent opinion and reality of myself. For those that know me personally, y'all know that traveling is one of my favorite things to do after shopping and eating because a girl is greedy. I have been traveling since I was in my early 20s, I want to say. I was 23 when I took my first trip out of the country. I think I was 20 when I first went to Miami for Memorial Weekend with my homegirls. That trip ended up being one of the worst trips of my life, thanks to my cheating ass ex who got caught in the hotel lobby with another girl. The whole hood was in Miami, by the way. It was just a fucking horrible trip after that whole incident. But everybody talked about that shit. Aside from that, though, traveling has always been something that I love to do since I was a young adult. Now, when I say traveling with friends, I'm a female, so I'm speaking from traveling with females' perspective. I know that there are some guys who travel with their guy friends. Some of these things may pertain to guys. I'm not a guy, so I don't know. So this is the female perspective. I know we all have heard of the girls' trips that ended some friendships for whatever reason. We're going to discuss vacationing with friends. And one of the things I think we don't look at when vacationing with friends is what are your vacation expectations? Normally it goes, oh, you and your girlfriends plan a trip. Y'all plan that y'all going to go somewhere. Y'all all say, yay, we're going to go. Now, just about most groups of friends, it always start out with, let's say, for example, 10 people and everybody's on board, we're going. As you get closer, you start dropping a person here, a person there. Come time to go on the trip, you might have 5 or 6 people. That's the female perspective. I don't know if it's the same thing with males. However, once you've decided that you and your girls are taking this trip, what are your vacation expectations? And when I say what are your expectations, it's what do you expect to happen on this trip? Are you a type of person that you want to do tourist things, like you want to see the island or you want to see the country or you want to see wherever you at? Do you want to do excursions? Are you the type that just want to stay on the property that you're at, if it's an Airbnb or a resort? What are your expectations? And I feel like when you vacation with your friends and in the beginning, when everyone is talking about this trip, these are things that need to be stated head on in the beginning before anybody even pays a deposit, because I'm telling you, it will save a lot of friendships, because you will know that you can't vacation with everyone because everyone doesn't have the same vacation expectations. If I'm a type of person that I want to stay on a resort and you're the type of person that you want to travel the island and we go on a trip together, it's not going to be a good trip because we're two different people who want to do two different things. We haven't sat down and discussed what all we're going to do on this trip. But since we're here, we paid our money. You're going to be mad because I don't want to travel the island. I'm going to be mad because all you want to do is travel the island. So you have to set those expectations of what that trip is going to be before anyone decides to give up any money. I know that there are some individuals who are not planners and are spur of the moment type of people. It depends on who I'm going on the trip with. I can be either or. I can be the planner and have everything set, or I can be a spur of the moment type of person. So with me, it doesn't really matter if there's a set itinerary or not. First of all, with me, I'm taking a nap. I don't give a damn what anybody else is doing. When I go on vacation, I am taking a nap. I need to take a nap. I be motherfucking tired. I'm going to sleep. If you got a problem with me taking a nap, guess what? Don't ever go on a trip with me because I am going to sleep and you are going to be upset. I'm not telling you you got to go to sleep. I'm just letting you know I'm taking a nap. So, with that being said, If you're a planner, is there a set itinerary that you plan and you let everyone know ahead of time the things that you're going to be doing? Is it mapped out, planned out? Do you know what you're going to be doing day of arrival, the next day, this day, that day? Or are you just, you may plan a dinner or two and then be like, we'll figure shit out when we get to the island? Again, I have been on both trips. I've been on trips where it was planned out and we had an itinerary for every day that we were there. And I've also been on trips when it was like, we gonna figure this shit out when we get there. Like, we have an itinerary set, but by the time we get there, shit start happening. We start doing other shit. That itinerary didn't get followed. And both times I had a good time. But I'm a type of person that I'm going to have fun on whatever trip I go on anyway. But again, there are some individuals that if you're not a planner and you're a spur of the moment and they like to plan, they're not going to enjoy themselves because they have to figure out what they're going to do throughout the time that you're on that trip. So again, this comes with you putting your expectations of what's going to happen on that vacation out there before anyone pays. You let them know, okay, I'm going to have an itinerary. I'm going to look at the island or wherever we're going, and I'm going to see what they have, and I'm going to plan these different events, and I'm going to let y'all know. That way, the individuals who are more planner-based people, they can say, okay, this is what's going to be planned. If you're the planner type and you plan it, I will always put, this is tentative. Because you could plan something and shit happens. Like, I went on a trip and a lot of the excursions were booked like early in the morning. Motherfuckers be hanging out all night, especially if you on a resort where it's all you can eat, all you could drink. Niggas is drinking all night, having a good time. You booked an excursion for 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody done paid for their excursion at 8 o'clock in the morning, but nobody's going to have a good time at that excursion at 8 o'clock in the morning because they all hung over from the night before. So I'm just saying, you have to be flexible when you're a planner and just say that this is tentative because things happen. When people go on vacation, I know I don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk in years, but I can drink if I choose to. There's no reason that I don't. I just don't. And I still have a good ass time when I go on vacation. But those individuals that go on vacation and it's all you could drink or they get their liquor from duty free, baby, if you plan an early morning excursion for them, 9 times out of 10, they might not make it. And if they do make it, they're going to be grouchy and aggravated because they're hungover from the night before. So you need to know what that itinerary is going to be prior to, if you're the planner type. If you're the spur of the moment type, y'all figure that shit out when y'all get there. Y'all plan shit as y'all get there. Once y'all get there, you go with the flow. Are you the type of individual that you plan things before you arrive? I've been on a trip where things were planned, like we had to wear all black, or if you got to wear all white, or if it's an anniversary dinner, they want everyone to wear black and silver or something like that. Are you that type of individual where you have themes so that everyone can be in sync when you're on vacation? Is this a family trip? Is this a girls trip? Are we celebrating your birthday? What is the theme? So, and again, all girls trips don't always have a theme. Sometimes you just go with your girls, y'all pack your suitcases and y'all go away to have a girls trip to have a good time. But again, sometimes it could be somebody's birthday. So for that person's birthday, they might want you to follow a theme. Are you the individual that likes to follow themes? If you're not, then I don't suggest that you go on this trip. If this individual is having a trip and she specifically said, okay, it's my 40th and I want everyone to wear white, you're not into the theme and you decide to show up in black, you don't think everyone's going to be looking at you like you're crazy? Like, you knew that this theme was coming because I told everyone to wear white ahead of time. Are you that type of person? If you're an individual who do not like to follow themes, this is why it helps to know the type of friends that you're vacationing with. Therefore, everyone knows what to expect on this trip. How do you spend your time on vacation? Again, everyone who knows me knows I'm taking a nap while I am on vacation. I don't give a fuck what anyone else is doing. When it gets time that I'm tired, I am taking a nap. Now, when I go away with my husband, it's a difference because he is up at the crack of dawn. I don't give a damn where we travel to. He's up early in the morning. So we're up early. So, of course, we up and we out early. I really need to take a nap when I go with him. And then he's Mr. Action Jackson. So he wants to go riding shit and doing all this shit, jet skiing and all this shit. So a bitch like me, I'll be motherfucking tired. So yes, I'm taking a nap. So he's been with me long enough that he be like, whatever, I know you're going to take your nap. Sometimes he ends up taking a nap with me. Sometimes he's out by the pool or at the bar drinking or whatever. But we have that understanding. I'm taking a nap. Just like any of my friends that go away with me, they know I'm taking a nap. I will leave their ass at the bar. I will leave their asses at the pool and go and take my nap. And I will rejoin y'all after I am refreshed. What type of person are you when you go on vacation? How do you like to spend your time? Do you like to always be doing something? Or are you a laid back, want to chill by the pool, drink at the bar, play volleyball in the pool, or certain things like that? Are you that type of person? You have to know the type of person that you are. Do you want to do excursions every single day, or do you want to do excursions 3 out of 5 days, or 3 out of the 7 days, or 4 out of the 7 days? What is it that you want to do when you're on vacation? How do you want to spend your time? Or do you just want to stay at the resort and lounge around the pool all day and eat? You have to know the type of individual that you are when you go on the vacation. And again, this is not for my individuals who've never been anywhere, but for my individuals who have never been anywhere, you need to take notes, because these are the things that you need to know what's taking place, so that when you go somewhere, you already know what the expectation is. You already know what you're going to do, how you're going to plan it out. For the most part, every place that me and my husband have went, we do excursions. We already know, except for when we went to Paris and London. We did excursions, but they were more so like tourist excursions, because Paris and London, they didn't have jet skiing and stuff like that. But anywhere else that we go, my husband is looking for jet skis. He's looking for four-wheelers, dirt bikes, dune buggies to ride. That is what he's looking for. He's not big on the touristy type of things, or going to see the island and stuff. And it depends on where we are. Then it's okay, yeah, this is more of a tourist trip, then we'll do that. But we are definitely going jet skiing. And when I say we, he's gonna go jet skiing, because the last time I went jet skiing with him, he almost killed me. I almost drowned. So yeah, that wasn't a good look. And that was in Aruba, in the middle of the ocean. So I haven't been on the back of a jet ski with him since then. However, he goes jet skiing. We ride the dune buggies. We ride the four-wheelers. And another place we didn't do jet skiing was when we went to Dubai. But for the most part, I already know the type of trip to book when me and my husband are going, because I know the things that he likes to do. Just like he knows that I like to take a nap, I know that he wants to jet ski. I know that he wants to go to the finest steakhouse, and I know we're going to ride dune buggies. You have to know how you want to spend your trip when you're going away with your friends. Are they like-minded friends who they want to just ride jet skis or get drunk, party? Like, what are the expectations? How do y'all plan to spend your time on this girls trip? Again, you have to know what it is that you want to do, or even if you have it in your mind, what it is that you think that you're going to do when you're on vacation. Because even being a spur of the moment type of person and you're not a planner, when you get there, you're going to figure out, okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. A couple of life lessons that I learned growing up and traveling with friends. The number one rule of traveling with friends is, I don't care how long you have been friends with this individual. I don't care what they tell you. Always have your own money. And when I say have your own money, always have your own money. So you need to have your own money to eat. You need to have your own money to drink. You need to have your own money for excursions. You need to have your own money in case of an emergency, in case you have to leave and book a flight and pay those fees. Always have your own money. Never go on a trip with nobody. I don't care how long y'all been friends. Always have your own money, because money tends to break up friendships. Yeah, your friend might be like, oh yeah, I got you, I got you, I got you. But in their mind, they're probably thinking, okay, this bitch is gonna come with a couple of dollars. But if you tell me you got me, telling me you got me means you're paying for all of my things. Why would you expect me to have my own money? But again, I'm not going on a trip with anyone unless it's my husband without my own money. And I'm even a little skeptical with that, because his ass might want to fuck around and leave me in another country. I'm just saying. Always have your own money when you're traveling with your friends, because anything can happen and you never know when you're going to need your own funds to get from point A to point B. Two, always have a credit card, because now times have changed and you can use a debit card for certain things. But if you don't have a certain amount of money in your account, and when they put these holds on your debit card, you can't use your money in your account unless you have an overdraft. If you have an overdraft, then disregard what I'm saying. Or a line of credit on your checking account. If you have that, then disregard what I'm saying. But if you do not, and all you have is a straight debit card, you need to make sure you have a credit card when you go away. Just because you want to make sure that you have that cushion just in case something happens, spur of the moment, and you need those extra funds for anything. The second thing to know when traveling with friends, Know who you're traveling with. And when I say know who you're traveling with, know who you're traveling with. I know individuals who have went on trips with people and it broke up the friendship. They were never friends again. I don't know what in particular happened on that trip, but I can guarantee you it had something to do with money, or it had something to do with the way they were spending their time on vacation, or it had to do with attitude. You need to know who you're traveling with. If this is the friend that always have an attitude for every little thing, and you get upset because they have an attitude, then you don't need to travel with that person. If this is the friend that doesn't know how to talk to people when they get upset and that bothers you, you don't need to travel with that person. If this is the friend that complains about everything and you know that's going to bother you, you don't need to travel with them. Know who you're traveling with. Know who you can go on a trip with. Every friend is not meant to travel with. Every friend is not meant to know all your business, just like every friend is not meant to party with. Every friend is not meant to travel with. You have to have friends for certain things because that one friend is not always going to be well rounded and can do everything that you want to do. Know who you're traveling with. Like I said in the beginning, know what the expectations of the trip are prior to you getting on that airplane. You traveling with a girl group, it's 10 of y'all going on a trip. You need to know what's the expectations of this group. Y'all should have had several meetings. And when I say meeting, it could be Zoom, it could be a group chat, it could be via email. Have that meeting so that you know what the expectations are of you going on this trip so that when you get on the trip, you're not blindsided by the actions of others. Know the individuals that you're going with because everyone does not have the same definition of what having fun is. So you need to know who these people are that I'm traveling with and what do they consider fun. See, again, I'm going to use myself as an example. I can have fun on any trip I go on and I don't drink. But a lot of the individuals that I travel with, they do drink. Have I drank before on a trip? Definitely. But there's been trips that I've been on and I've been sober and we had a ball. You need to know the people you're traveling with. You need to know what that expectation of that trip is going to be. Is this a girls trip where we going to hang out every night? Is this a girls trip where we're going to go and do excursions? And is this a girls trip where we're going to be tourists and see the island? Is this a girls trip where we just relaxing and taking a break from being wives and being mothers and just going to chill around the resort or the island? Or is this the turn up trip where every night we turned up? For the record, I don't do turn up girls trips because again, I be motherfucking tired and I can't hang out 2, 3, 4, 5 nights in a row. I could barely go out once a week, let alone going on a trip and being out every night. Those turn up trips are not for me anymore. Have I been on them in the past? Definitely. At this age, I can't turn up. I be motherfucking tired. And I don't even drink. It's just being up late all those nights in a row. It's, oh no. Good night. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have fun. I'm not going on that one. The thing about that is when I go on trips with my friends know that. They are not mad because I didn't turn up with them. I was having fun with y'all. We did all the good things that my body allows me to do. When y'all want to stay here and take shots from 10 to 3 a.m., I can't do that. First of all, I go to bed at 8 o'clock when I'm home. 9 o'clock the latest. I'm on a trip. I'm in another country. 9 times out of 10, it's a different time zone. So my body is thrown off anyway. Do you really think that I could be up from 10 to 3 taking shots? I don't think so. That's why you need to know the people you're traveling with. Know who you're going on the trip with. Know what the expectations are on the trip. Again, if you're the planner of the trip and this is your trip, and when I say the planner, let's say, okay, we're going away because it's your birthday. And you are the type of individual who are a go with the flow individual, but you know that you have friends that like structure and they want an itinerary. I suggest that you let them know ahead of time. Like, yeah, I know I'm not a planner. So if you guys want to put something together and run it by me to see if I'm interested in doing these things, I'm cool with that. So that there's no issue, no friction on these trips. When you travel with your friends, you have to know the friends that you're traveling with. You have to know that what's the expectations of this trip. And again, you have to know how the individuals that you're traveling with plan to spend their time. Those are the things that you need to know in order for you to have a good girl trip, aside from having your own money. And again, even if it's an all-inclusive, which means you don't have to pay for no drinks, no food, you still need to have money just in case something happens. You don't never go on a trip dead broke with $0 in your pocket because anything can happen. You always have to have that rainy day fund just in case, because anything can happen. I'm not saying, oh, you're supposed to take a trip and you got to have $5,000 in your pocket. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you go on a trip, you have to have money just in case something happens. You don't go on a trip dead broke. What if something happens on the trip and you need to get home and you need to fly home soon and you have no money? So you're just going to be stuck on the island and can't go nowhere? Like, things happen. So you need to make sure you're prepared when you're going on this trip with your friends to cover yourself. Again, if you've been longtime friends with someone and they like, oh, I know your money is not right and I'm gonna pay for you, don't worry, I got you. You need to find out from that friend, what does you got me entail? What does that mean? Define that for me so that we're on the same page just in case something happens. I still don't recommend going on a trip without any of your own money. I'm sorry, I just don't recommend it. And I wouldn't put that much trust in anybody just because people change all the time. People switch up. People just be peopling. So always make sure you have your own money when you go on a trip. Make sure that you're aware of how to have a good trip when you're vacationing with friends. Make sure that you know what are the trip expectations. Make sure that you have your own money. Make sure that you know how the time is going to be spent while we're wherever we are. Always have your own money. That's just the number one golden rule. Have your own money and always have a credit card, especially if you're going to another country, the credit card thing, because currency is different and it's much easier to just put it on a credit card than to just try to convert US dollars to they currency. But again, those four things will save a lot of friendships. Thanks for listening, and I hope you join me next week where we discuss overindulging. Do you overindulge? Has it turned into an addiction? We will discuss some things. People overindulge, and when does that overindulge turn into addiction? Thanks for listening to the Is It Just Me podcast, and I hope you join me next week.